Yeah. Then I will turn this lights
Bad to the bone, his son truck.
Oh, that's great. We never lost that. I think he's not even the last one to go. There's more. Alright.
This looks like Mike Mitchell Jr. coming out. Supposed to be King Hellonic, but
One down there. Go fast. One. Mike will be the last one. Last two. Mike would be last two to go. Huh? I think last two, second one to go.
So you can put that in first.
Yes. He might be able to.
Okay. Fingers crossed. Sounds good, then.
Does
once again, we'd like to thank you fans for coming out and supporting us here tonight. We had that rain on early on. You guys stuck with us and came back. We thank you very much for that. Carl's got a new wrap on this truck this year. Calling the truck whatever it takes now. Carl's been around for many, many years. Very, very strong competitor. One of the better drivers on the circuit. It's always nice to have him with us.
Maybe.
Solid run for Brad. Looks like Matt's all behind the wheel here tonight.
Eventually it will smell like bubblegum. Eventually.
This track's really holding up good tonight. Something I would categorize as a power track. Some of these high cubic
I
inch
can
tracks
smell like paint
should have a
and
little bit of
gas.
an advantage. Let's see how it shakes out. Nelson had a whale of a run, so he's got
Let's
it
make
out there. We'll
moonshine
see
off it.
what Matt can do here with his tractor tonight.
Moonshine off it.
When you hit that 150 foot mark, you want to be starting max out and still gaining a little bit of speed.
Stop scaring the driver.
You want to be max speed. So you're picking the 50 gears you can run, get it up and get up to speed as quick as possible. So this is his final attempt right here, waiting for the green flag, waiting for the green lights on the sled.
Get up
He's got to get everything pulled back tight, get it kicked out of gear. Like I said, he has those seat belts on. You can't reach down to shift that tractor, so it seems like he's giving him a little bit of hand to get the belt back on.
Yeah. Oh, he's leaving. Who did
Why would
it?
people set firecrackers on?
There we go again.
That's like me throwing one
One of
on
the biggest things he wants to do now is not
Oh,
think
my.
about what he just did. Now you want to let your reflexes take over and just wind that right up. But we're having 2 issues there. That will be his final attempt. This is a tractor that that's not supposed to be able to compete. This is an East Coast hot stock tractor. These tractors are 466 cubic inches with a 3x4 turbocharger. And I believe it's 3x3.5 inch turbocharger. And this tractor's not supposed to be run with these big cubic inch tractors. But somebody forgot to tell Nelson that. And you watch this little sucker. This tractor will come out here, and if he does his job, he is one of the finest tuners in this sport. His tractor is always tuned just about right. And if he has 1,500 horsepower, he is going to put 1,500 horsepower in the ground. And he can read a track, and he can read a tractor. And this man gets every ounce of power out of this tractor. It's not supposed to be able to compete. But let me tell you, somebody forgot to tell him that a 466 tractor cannot compete with a 540 or a 619. Because Nelson Harding from Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, down at the 100-mile marker off 81. Luke and I pulled together about 15, 20 years ago. He's still running the same exact tractor that he was then. Made a lot of changes. Got a chassis underneath it. These tractors do have all the safety equipment on them. They have the guillotines on them to shut the air off in front of the turbocharger. There's a 3-way dump valve that the driver can pull from his seat, returns the fuel to the tank in case he sticks a plug. So you pull that and pull the guillotine, it'll shut that motor down. We have blankets over top of the turbocharger to keep all those parts contained in case the turbocharger fails. All kinds of safety equipment on these steel flywheels, blanket radio clutches.
What a ride!
This winter, so we'll see where she shakes out if we ever get it back together. So Ty's a strong running tractor. He's those 540 cubic inch motors. So we will be giving up a little bit of horsepower to those big bad cases, but again, all of us do. Drivers are all wearing fire suits. They have the 5-point harnesses on there to keep them strapped into the seat. When these things start rocking around like Lucas did there, you want those belts just as tight as you can get them. because you whack your head off that steel post on the side of there. That really hurts the ring your bell a little bit. They have DOT approved helmets, but it still hurts.
Oh, you pass out.
You see the two fuel tanks. One tank in the front is fuel, and the other one's for water. We're injecting water in the crossover pipe, and right in the top of each one of the pistons, so keeps that ring cool down inside the motor.
Oh boy.
That's not what he. Gearing's a little bit different for the sled, so they don't have the exact same setup in the sled that the 2.6 guys did, because these guys have that extra 500 horsepower and a lot more torque. I guess at least probably 400 or 500 foot-pounds more torque, and that makes all the difference in pulling. Horsepower is nice, but torque so that wind pulls. These intercoolers really help with that. Then you get this little extra horsepower and a little extra torque. It's a little bit harder on the parts. So your driveline has to be right. Everything's pretty much built in, all ProFab parts in the driveline and stuff like that. Their drop boxes, they have the quick change gears in it. So they can go down there just like the big gas four-wheel drives. They can do quick change of the gears. And in the different track situations, they can up their gears down in a hurry. He was the points champion in that class. So curious how he does this on my turbo. Got those 24, 5, 32 Firestones on the back. One thing you see, a lot of these guys are using a spotter to get back into the sled. What happens there is once you get those belts strapped in tight, didn't really realize it until I did it myself, you cannot see nothing behind you. Even the little things like reaching up to change from forward to reverse and reverse to forward. Boy, oh boy, you almost have to take one arm off and put it back in there. When you're out on the track, you want to do as little as possible to stop your thinking. Your brain's going a mile a minute. What do you forget? What are you turning on? What didn't you turn on? So a lot of these guys use a spotter so they don't have to turn around, see back and in.
It's still laggy.
Look in the drag car, you can't see it at the same time.
Grinding to find it.
So unlike our clutches, you don't see, there's no clutch brakes on these. So a lot of times you hear them grind them into gear. There's nothing to slow that transmission down to get it into gear. So a lot of times you hear them grind in. Sometimes they'll slide right in. A lot of times they won't. Ejector laid down. Charger. And a couple guys down
how he got this
4 1s
working
and 4 3s.
now.
In the last couple of years, the turbocharger technology and the fuel pump technology has really taken off. The injector lines, the injectors, there's so much into it, crossover pipes, and now some of these guys are running up to a 5-inch turbo. I don't think anybody here tonight is. If I would take a guess, the big turbo here in this class tonight would probably be a 4.6. There might be a 4.8 out of 4.9 here somewhere, but I believe most of these guys are 4.5, 4.6 turbochargers. And these guys are pushing a little over 2,000 horsepower, probably 2,300. And in their classes, really a lot of fun. This is one of my favorite classes, the Mod Turbo class. They put out the horsepower, but they're not terribly hard on parts. There's a couple blocks out here that have, geez, hundreds of hooks on them. Most of these Mod Turbos still run a stock block. As you get into the light pros and up, those guys are running what we call a recast block that is made out of billet steel and aluminum just for pulling. But a lot of these tractors here they can still run a stock block. It's bored out to 540 cubic inches with a little bit of stroke, a little bit of bore. Rick House with a Will Stinker from Winfield, PA. Solid run for Rick. This is brought to you by CS Pulling Promotion. Mr. Chase Diamond doing the live stream for us. So there's another John Deere 6030. This is a strong running tractor. This will be our biggest tractor here tonight. Now you see some of the hot stock tractors lining up in the background back there. They're in a different class. So to this class here will be our Mod Turbos and the 4.1 tractor that's pulling out here right now. These tractors are pushing these 4.1s are pushing right around 3,000 horsepower. Probably coming off flying about 4,000, 4,500 RPM. It is a big block here. They don't turn quite as many RPMs as the small blocks do. But boy, do they have the torque, and he has that big old 4-inch turbocharger on there. They do not run intercoolers. They run a P7100 pump and that big old turbocharger. A lot of stroke in the crank. Some big old pistons in there. They're limited to 640 cubic inches. Which is one of the reasons why these guys like the John Deeres. They're really close to a stock cubic inches compared to a 466 International. And they just got a lot more life and a lot of torque in them right naturally. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? I believe he was holding out on us. We've got a new leader, 3.
I hope he didn't reuse the same pipe. If he did, that pipe would have been jumped.
Yep, that's what it is. He'll go home and somebody back there will tell him what company has to do there. But something's coming apart. Nothing terminal. Let's give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. He has it coming off. That's a long ride to get here. A lot of work. A lot of bugs worked out. That's why they brought it up here tonight to try to work through some issues. A lot of technology goes into that, and they're trying to get her figured out. Meanwhile, Joby Wright from McClure with a truck he calls Fleetwood Disaster. These trucks weigh 8,000 pounds, limited 2.6-inch smoothbore turbo, no water injection or intercooler. Boys are doing some testing here with their jumbotron. Weight all the way forward. They're pulling pretty close to 200,000 pounds of immovable weight when that box tops all the way out with the ground pressure that's on it. Underneath that pan, there's scat fires. They're about 2.5, 3 inches deep, about 1.5 inches wide, and they're shaped in there in a V. The funnel is going through the center and out the back.
James Bond.
With injectors and fuel lines and fuel pumps. You don't really realize just how much work it takes to get one of these things dialed in. There's no practice. So Kenton Lee from Minutes with the Outcast, or the 99 Problems, I think it's called. He's got some fuel problems that doesn't want to light. If he gets one more shot at this, they can drag him back, give him another shot. I think he needs to wind it just a little bit tighter.
Yep.
Take that thing up to around 5,000 RPM. Start easing that clutch out. You don't want to sidestep it. You want to ease that clutch out. And about 25, 30 feet, just let that clutch go and let it eat. He's been fighting injector problems and some fuel line problems and fuel pressure on the pumps. So I think he's still trying to run an electric drive pump. I think he's going to have to go to a belt drive to get enough fuel pressure. Because that big pump needs a lot of pressure pushed into it all the time, or you can end up sticking a plunger or something like that. So they're not liking what they're seeing here. Hopefully it's nothing terminal. You think it's only a 3-inch turbocharger, but that's a big charger for a 5.9 Cummins. This motor's had some work done to it. Like I said, he's been fighting fuel pressure problems, so could be as simple as like he's playing with a fuel cap there. It might be vapor locking and not letting fuel get through. Sometimes you're better off. Yeah, he's got a fuel problem. I've seen him where the cap's not vented and won't let it suck the fuel out of the tank. Hopefully it's something really stupid. Like I said, there's no practice in this sport. You have to drive this thing. He drug this thing almost 3 hours to get it out here. And this is the only practice you get. It's about the only sport in the world where you can't go out and do anything to get any kind of data. He does have a data logger on these. Most of these tractors do have data loggers. Those things will give us our ground speed. They'll give you the temperature of each cylinder. Last year at Hughesville, I lost an injector, couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. We back downloaded the data logger, and boy, we had a cold cylinder, number 3. Pulled number 3 and it was a bad injector. Sent it out, had a new injector back 2 days later, put it back together, and made it down here for our hook. So they'll give you all kinds of information. I give you your RPMs.
They have to start it.
You can go back through that at the end of the night and it'll give you just about everything. From the time you started it to the time you shut off, it'll record everything, put it on a nice bar screen for you. Let's cheer this young man on down through here, ladies and gentlemen. He's dying to get a hook, get him down the track here. Let's give him a shout on down through here, folks. Not gonna go. It's not gonna go. Just not happy. Don't let her lug it out there. That's hard on those motors. Get her shut down. Distance don't matter. You're on an exhibition anyway. Got a bunch of work done to it, so he wanted to bring her out here tonight and see how it shakes out. Matt Gerson is Smoking Bandit. All she wrote from that thing will whistle and it just pierces my eardrums. So if you have sensitive ears, be prepared for that, because this thing has quite the whistle to it. It's got a big housing on it with a little 2.8 inlet, and boy does this thing run. We come up on a combination here a couple years ago, and Boy, oh boy, is it tough to beat. Brooks Major in the mystery case. As I like to call it, the Scooby-Doo tractor.
Can you cover your ears, Jack? Is it loud? There goes the whistle.
Over your ear. Put your hands on them. Put your hands up over your ear. There you go. Cover your ears. You guys are liking what you're seeing here. July 11th, we'll be back at the track here at 6 o'clock, so you'll be able to see these enhanced tractors take another run. If you have any kids, it's also going to be your kids event. It's going to be starting at 4 o'clock until we're ready to start pulling.
That's a fun event, and you guys have not been here before for our kids' night. You want to come out for that night. We have all kinds of events for the kids down here, all kinds of giveaways. We do a show and shine for the kids, line the tractors up, they come out, meet the drivers. So you're going to pick another pull this year, that's the one you want to come to. We'd like you to come to all of them, but we really like to see you come out and support our kids' event. Okay, here we go. Oh boy, something didn't go quite as right. Notice he slipped that clutch out a little bit farther than anybody else. And boy, he had some ground speed going there. He slipped that clutch a good solid 75 feet before he let it fly.